Hi, this is Glenn Depke, and welcome to the next segment in the How to Relieve Menopause Symptom video series. Now, yesterday we discussed your adrenal gland function and how your adrenals don't just impact your overall menopause symptoms, but also how this impacts your body holistically. But today we want to go a little bit deeper, and I want to help you understand how your adrenal glands will be impacting what's going on hormonally speaking. And we're going to talk a little bit about progesterone and also estrogens, as well as testosterone and other hormones that are produced in your adrenal glands. So looking at this chart, in the upper right you see where it says vitamin B5. Now, vitamin B5 is the very beginning of this whole series of production and conversion of hormones. And basically your vitamin B5 is converted into a coenzyme that's referred to as acetyl-CoA, as you can see it pointing to that on the chart. Now, then what your body does is it uses the combination of that acetyl-CoA and your own body's production of cholesterol as the two raw materials to produce the very first baseline hormone in your adrenals, which is called pregnenolone. Now think of the pregnenolone, if you're taking notes, think of the pregnenolone as the mother hormone of every other hormone produced in your adrenals. Now you can see though that there's two different pathways here. The pathway that goes straight down goes into the production of something referred to as the acronym of DHEA. Now DHEA is the precursor to production of other hormones, different forms of testosterone. Also, I don't have it noted on here, but also different forms of androstenedione, and then also different forms of estrogen hormones. Remember, I had mentioned many times in videos in the past is that as a postmenopausal woman, you are dependent on this pathway to produce the proper amounts of estrogen that you need to still maintain health and balance in that past that transition that we refer to as menopause. Now this pathway I like to think of as a general health and balance pathway. So you basically want your hormones going down this pathway to keep you, as mentioned, generally healthy and happy. Now the other pathway though, where you see the red arrows pulled over, that is what I would refer to as more of a fight or flight pathway. That's the stress and survival pathway. Now don't get me wrong, this pathway still plays a role in basic overall bodily function. But this pathway is the pathway that your body will choose when you're under any form of stress. So whether this be a true life or death situation or a perceived survival based on how the mind works. So this survival for you could be traffic on the interstate, being late for an appointment, a disagreement with a spouse, challenges with your children, bills in the mail that you can't pay for. And the list just goes on and on as to what that could be. But what's going to happen with that reaction is you're going to pull your pregnenolone, that mother hormone, down the pathway of progesterone. And then from progesterone, you're going to go through a couple other conversion forms and eventually into cortisol and cortisone, recognizing that cortisol is your body's primary stress response hormone and cortisone is your body's natural anti-inflammatory. So what you can see here as you look at this slide is basically that when you're under that stress response, what's going to happen is it's going to create a deficiency down the DHA pathway, because this makes all the sense in the world, because if your body has either a true life or death situation or a perceived life or death, it's going to pick the cortisol and cortisone pathway, because it's more important to save your life than it is to, let's say, digest your lunch, per se. So what happens with this is that it ends up creating deficiencies down the DHA pathway, thus creating deficiencies in production of hormones such as testosterone as well as estrogen. And when we get stuck in this pattern, eventually the whole system begins to burn out, and then we really have deficiencies across the board. So I wanted to really expose you to this today so you understand the impact that your stress hormone system, your adrenal glands, has on your own production of female hormones. Tomorrow we're going to start a discussion on the impact of the triggers that are ultimately creating your adrenal insufficiency. So please be sure to subscribe to this page if you haven't already, so you're very confident that you will be receiving tomorrow's video. I'm Glenn Depke from Depke Wellness. Thank you so much for your time.